Well, hello! Today we're looking at Triangle Episode 3 of Season 6. Premiering November 22nd, 1998, Triangle has Moulder seeking out an old World War II ship, only to find out it might be a portal to another time? And if it is, he better not touch anything. Who knows what could happen? The episode begins with what looks to be a boat wreck in a YMCA swimming pool. Oh, I mean the ocean. Yeah, it's definitely the ocean. I would love to know how Moulder survives this, because I don't know how long someone can live with their face down in water. Thankfully, some fine gentlemen save him, but how long was he out there now that it's dark and storming? It looked pretty nice out before that.
Fox Moulder, Federal Bureau of Investigation. Sorry, mate, never heard of it!
Never heard of it?
I'll tell you what we do with books, it's scared to know.
You've never heard of the FBI?
Typical American, thinks the whole world revolves around him. If these guys are so suspicious of him though, why did they save him? Moulder then starts scaring everyone by telling them their exact coordinates on the map, and talking about time warps and alternate dimensions. If I found some guy floating in the water and he started telling me about time warps, I might just throw him back.
It's September 3rd, 1939, man. Hitler has entered Poland, and we've just been boarded by a bunch of his goose-stepping hooligans.
I have this weird fascination with shows and movies that explore strange alternate timelines with Nazis, and I'm so glad the X-Files got in on the action. So the Nazis start taking over the controls of the ship, and while everyone is obviously on high alert, Moulder seems to be enjoying himself. Don't worry, that doesn't last very long, because Moulder quickly learns that he's actually gone back in time to 1939.
This country is at war with Germany.
Remember when saying shit on TV was seen as this big taboo? There was actually a bit of a controversy when the word was used on an episode of Chicago Hope in the late 90s, which was then mocked by the South Park episode It Hits the Fan, where they said the word 162 times. Anyways, a Nazi shows up, so Moulder gives him a little taste of good old US of A. Unsurprisingly, the Nazi turns out to be Spender. Considering how he likes to tattle on Moulder, this makes way too much sense. Moulder steals the Nazi uniform, but considering he can't speak German, he's found out pretty much right away. Thankfully, he is very good at hiding. Kind of.
I suggest you get your Nazi paws off me before you get one in the kisser.
Oh, it's me, Moulder.
Oh, you speak English, do you? Well, how'd you like to see the stars in the American flag?
I'm not a Nazi.
Oh man, do I love feisty 1930s Scully, just itching to throw hands with Nazis. Moulder gets outed by the singer for not being an actual Nazi, but listen honey, stick to singing terrifying old songs that summon creepy monsters, and leave the Nazi business to Moulder, okay? Moulder gets carried off by the Nazis, but these guys seem way too friendly to be Nazis. I'm honestly surprised they didn't just put a bullet in him and throw him overboard. They bring Moulder to the bridge of the ship where the captain is basically like, "F*** off Nazis." See, that's what I thought they were gonna do to Moulder. And oh, look who the king of the Nazis is. Of course, it's the cigarette smoking man. So he just hit 60 years old and stopped aging for the next 60? Is this what you get for joining the syndicate? Before Moulder is shot, Skinner shows up and he's also a Nazi? Anyways, back in the present, and by the present, I mean 1998, the lone gunmen show up and inform Scully Moulder's in trouble. Since when isn't he in trouble? What I find interesting is she doesn't really question them on this wild story about a World War II ship that suddenly reappeared. If Moulder told her this, she probably would have blown him off and told him he was crazy. So Scully is now on a mission to get some satellite imaging or something that will help find Moulder's location. Oh hey, there's her body double. She speaks to Skinner, but he's like, "I can't help you anymore, I'm not your boss."
Use your head, Scully. It'll save your ass.
Save your own ass, sir. You'll save your head along with it.
Oh, snap, Scully. I love how frustrated she is throughout this whole sequence, stepping on people's feet, nearly walking into people. She is a little on the desperate side since she tries to speak to Kirsch, but look who's in his office. Quick, Scully, shoot him! She could have saved so many lives if she just pulled her gun right now. Well, obviously Kirsch is compromised, so he's no help. Not sure why she thought he would help to begin with. Scully tries to call Moulder's cell phone, but I don't think alternate dimensions have very good cell reception.
I want you to do me a favor. It's not negotiable. Either you do it or I kill you. You understand?
Just kill him, Scully. Him and his father. You could have taken care of the entire bloodline just now.
Don't ask too many questions. I don't care what you do or who you have to grease. I need that information and I need it now. Are we clear on that?
So is this episode just to make me fall in love with her, or what? Spender leaves to get Scully her info, but in the meantime the phone rings, and well, it's the cigarette-smoking man, and he thinks he's talking to Fowley of all people? This has to confirm Scully's suspicions that Fowley is no good, right? Scully is then informed that Spender went and told on her to Kirsch. He really is the Randall Weems of X-Files.
Is it you?
I've been trying to reach you. I got the information you needed.
How?
Don't even ask.
Skinner just might be the luckiest man on the planet. Wait, does this mean Skinner got to kiss Scully before Moulder? Did this start a whole new group of shippers? I love that this whole thing has basically become the Scully show at this point. Scully hitches a ride with the lone gunman, but is that Spender running after her? Get lost, loser. Back with Moulder, who's having a nice little chat with the Brits, but he should watch himself around this one. Doesn't he know that's Kano?
Some kind of code word they keep asking about. Thor's hammer. You know what that is, mate?
Well, in the X-Files universe, Thor's hammer is apparently a man who will create the atom bomb, which I think is completely fabricated for the show, but I'm not a history expert. Moulder tells the men they can't allow the ship to go back to Germany, otherwise they'll get their hands on this man and win the war. And of course, one of them was a spy the whole time. I told you, you can't trust Kano.
Don't you know there are spies everywhere? Trust no one, man.
So does this technically count as the first time Mulder's ever been told, trust no one? I mean, this is 1939. The men all decide it's time to take over the ship, but Kirsch of all people has decided they're going to Jamaica instead. Even though it's technically not Kirsch, is this the only time he actually does something that isn't stepping on Mulder's neck? Mulder's taken back to the ballroom so he can point out who this bomb-making scientist is. But I like how the cigarette-smoking man doesn't even try to do a German accent.
Einen Wissenschaftler, der weiß, wie man eine Bombe macht, die den Krieg gewinnen wird.
Mulder plays dumb like he doesn't know who it is, so the Nazis do what they do best. Scully speaks up, well, a woman who looks a lot like Scully speaks up, and as feisty as she might be, I'm not sure pissing off the Nazis will win her any favors. They do seem to know how to manipulate Mulder, though.
That man is the scientist.
Das war ein Befehl!
Mein Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie verbringen...
Ihr seid Feiglinge! Verreiter, Versager!
Lone Gunman and Scully find the ship, and for a missing 60-year-old ship, it looks pretty damn good.
I don't believe it.
What? Scully a non-believer? Since when? The Nazis don't exactly believe Mulder, and before he's shot, the real scientist comes out and gives himself up, which is really dumb. Also, fake Scully is part of the OSS, which I guess was like the OG CIA? Well, let's see how they get themselves out of this one. Nothing I love more than a good old-fashioned Nazi beatdown. Meanwhile, Scully and her manservants are also on the boat, but it feels a lot less crowded. You know, if they're looking for Mulder, why aren't they shouting for him?
God bless America and get your asses out of here.
I love how even in an alternate timeline, Skinner, who's supposed to be a Nazi, still has their back. There's a great moment where both Scullys sort of cross paths and can sort of feel each other's presence. It's a fun and very clever bit of editing. The transition from the fight currently going on in the ballroom, or whatever you want to call it, to the current day version is also really cool. They're definitely on the same ship, just not at the same time. Mulder starts explaining to fake Scully about the Bermuda Triangle, and even she's like, what?
What?
He tells her how she can save the future, which is by steering the ship back into the triangle, but wouldn't this basically just trap all these people in a nightmare that just never ends?
So in case we never meet again.
Okay, this doesn't count. That's not actually Scully. Mulder goes for a little dip in the ocean, and that somehow brings him back to our time. Or was the whole thing just a crazy dream? It does feel like the kind of thing I dream about, just, you know, less Godzilla.
I love you.
Triangle is another really great episode. So far, besides the season opener, I'd say season 6 is starting off pretty damn strong. This is another hard one to talk about because just like Bad Blood, I feel like I could just sit here and list off all the great moments throughout. I'm one of those weirdos where you can just throw Nazis against anyone and there's a good chance I'll watch it. So pitting Moulder against them was a really fun idea. Though I don't know if I should be using the word fun when talking about Nazis. The 10-minute sequence of Scully trying to get info on where Moulder is might be the highlight of the episode. It's done in a way that makes it feel like one continuous shot, but you can sort of tell when they've made a cut or a transition. Regardless, I still think it's a really fantastic sequence, and it has the characters feeling a little exaggerated or not quite how they're supposed to be. Everyone is who they are, but they all feel a little cartoonish in a way, which just adds to the fun of the whole thing. Jillian is really great, and her comedic timing is spot on. I love the use of all the actors throughout the 1939 setting as well. We all know who they are, so it's kind of fun to see these actors used in a way that feels familiar, yet feels fresh at the same time. Having Skinner be a Nazi who was actually on the side of the Allies is a great example of this because it's such a Skinner thing to do. Also, Scully and that red dress, oh boy. So was it time travel, a dream, or just a really elaborate pool party? Guess we'll never really know, though that shiner on Moulder's face suggests that it might have actually happened. Chris Carter wrote Triangle, which I'll admit surprised me at first, but then again, this is the guy who gave us the postmodern Prometheus, so maybe I shouldn't be too shocked. Triangle ended up being one of the most ambitious episodes of Season 6. It's basically a showcase of every possible production challenge. Elaborate camera work, intricate plotting, period costumes, huge sets, and performances that had to balance high energy with high precision. And the kicker? Carter originally thought it might save money. The last time Chris Carter tried to save money, he made the bottle episode Space, which ended up being one of the most expensive episodes in the show's history. See, back in Season 5 when he directed The Red and the Black, Carter shot so much film that the crew gave him a gag trophy for most excessive film usage, only second to Kim Manners, of course, who was the king of wasting film. That got him thinking. A single 35mm film magazine holds about 12 minutes. What if they shot one magazine per act, and one continuous take? Hitchcock did it in his 1948 film Rope. Why couldn't the X-Files? He also wanted to do a Devil's Triangle story for many years, and the show's move to Los Angeles meant filming on the Queen Mary was finally possible. Of course, this money-saving idea turned into a logistical nightmare. The LA crew had to learn a whole new way of shooting. 6 or 7 hours of rehearsal often led to filming one high-pressure scene. For cinematographer Bill Rowe, the normal lighting tricks were useless. The Steadicam would be spinning in all directions, so we had to rely on practical lighting from the sets. Producer Paul Rabwin said they embraced the shadows, using doorways and dark spots as hidden edit points, just like Hitchcock. Steadicam operator Dave Luckenbach had it the worst. A week and a half of physically grueling choreographed shots. The actors had no room for error. Mistakes meant expensive retakes. Even the extras had to stay perfectly in sync, and sometimes the crew had to scramble in ridiculous ways, like redressing an elevator set in seconds while Gillian Anderson delivered lines inside, praying that when the doors opened, it wouldn't reveal a crew member holding a prop. Spoiler, it happened quite often. And because there was no time to slide in Scully's box, the little platform Jillian often stood on, the height difference between her and Duchovny is extra noticeable here. She's so tiny and I love it. Filming also meant 11 days aboard the Queen Mary, which required blacking out an entire side of the ship without disturbing hotel guests, floodlighting parking lots, setting up tents for extras, and rigging a sprinkler system for storm scenes. To block Long Beach from the camera, Grips built scaffolding 55 feet above the deck. For Moulder's ocean rescue, massive green screens were hung over the ship's side. Production designer Corey Kaplan even had parts of the Queen Mary stripped and redecorated to match late 1930s, with both pristine and derelict versions of the ballroom created in the same location. The prop and costume departments went full history nerd, from Nazi cigarette lighters to pre-World War II life rings to authentic uniforms and period hairstyles. Makeup went old school too, applying pancake makeup to dozens of extras and slicking Nazi hair with Brile cream. And Carter couldn't resist peppering the episode with Wizard of Oz references. After all, the movie did come out in 1939. Moulder's boat is called the Lady Garland, the ballroom band is Elmira Gulch and the Lollipop Guild, and Captain Harburg is named after the lyricist behind Oz's songs. Even Skinner drops a "Me and my dog Toto" line, and Moulder makes reference to Dorothy when she wakes up from her little nap.
You were there, Scully.
He's delirious.
And he was there too.
Right, me and my dog Toto.
No, you were there with the Nazis.
And you, and you, and you. And you were there.
There's also a fun blooper where you can see Gillian Anderson's body mic during her "what was I thinking" moment after leaving Kirsch's office. And in a sweet bit of trivia, Chris Owens' girlfriend got to be a ballroom dancer for a day, and Duchovny generously lent the couple his Queen Mary suite for the night. And if David is letting you use his suite, then you know exactly what it's going to be used for. A rousing game of Shark Attack, obviously. For a money-saving episode, Triangle might have been one of the most elaborate productions in X-Files history, and it paid off with a one-of-a-kind hour of TV. Triangle currently sits at 8.5 on IMDb, and I think we might have ourselves another 9. This is one I've gone back to countless times over the years, and I just love every second of it. Up next, we have another fun episode, as Moulder accidentally swaps bodies with a man in black and has to do whatever he can to get back. In the episode, Dreamland. So what do you think about Triangle? Let me know down in the comments. Anyways, that's all for today. I hope you're having a great day and stay spooky.
Moulder's in trouble, big trouble.
In the Bermuda Triangle,
You've been caught in some kind of time warp.
anything can happen.
I want you to do me a favor. Either you do it or I kill you.
I think there's been a mistake.
It's the biggest episode yet, with the moment you've been waiting for.
So in case we never meet again.
The X-Files, an all-new episode Sunday at 9, 8 Central on Fox.